spring cleaning time, and I'm going through some of the finer quality material that I have that I've held on to, which is actually out of a storage facility. We don't keep it here. And the first thing I have up is my collection of meteorites. I love Campo di Cielo meteorites. They're in meteorite from Argentina, and I have some pretty big ones here. The really big ones, I have them packed away. But again, this is like kind of the basic idea behind a small meteorite collection, but fine ones. These are all Campo di Cielos. A lot of these are going to be around like 12-pound meteorites. This is actually a really nice one. The site where they were found is located about 1,000 kilometers north of Buenos Aires, and the crater field was really large. Actually, the crater field covers 3 kilometers of land and contains at least 26 craters, the largest being 115 by 91 meters, which is like crazy. Campo di Cielo is an iron meteorite. It's dated to be around 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. And in my opinion, out of all the iron meteorites, it's probably the best one, my favorite one. Typically, if you go into a museum, you're going to see Campo di Cielos. I mean, there's going to be other meteorites, but you might find really big ones because the meteorite impact had huge pieces. Some of the pieces were the size of buses or bigger. Actually, the way that this was discovered was really cool because in 1570, around 1570, the governor in northern Argentina commissioned his army or whatever it is to go out and look for this mass of iron that the natives were using to make weapons and tools and things like that. And so that's how this actually got on the radar. And one of the things that eventually happened is that this became kind of like a national stone for them, and it became illegal to export it without proper documentation. So one of the things that is really cool about this and interesting is the way that it was found, but also the way that they started using it. They started to industrialize it. So again, it's really great to have Campo di Cielo meteorites. One of the things that we should also be looking out for, unfortunately, are fakes. So what I can show you here are some iron meteorites that are actually not Campo di Cielo. These actually come out of Spain, but everyone sells them as Campo di Cielo. So I've seen a lot of Campo di Cielo on the market that is not Campos. Actually, it's this material right here, which is a meteorite that came out of Spain. And you can actually see there's a pretty clear difference between this one and this one. Even if you look at smaller pieces, you could see there's a huge difference between the two of them. I've also seen a lot of meteorites that are completely and utterly fake. They're just melted down iron and shaped this way. Again, unfortunately, that's the industry at this point. So those are my Campos, but I do have some other pretty cool stuff here. Here what I have are lunar meteorites, which are essentially little fragments that came from the moon. And I bought them from someone who was authentic and for sure had lunar meteorites. And they're small, but still, that's what I could afford. This is going back like 10 years ago, probably, but that was what I could afford at the time. So I have a couple of these lunar meteorites, which are really cool. So these are Moldavite flowers. These are probably like what you would consider the best of the best kind of formations as far as Moldavite is concerned. Grainy, no damage, extremely high grade Moldavite, which probably I acquired these 8 to 10 years ago before Moldavite skyrocketed. So these are pretty cool. Thank God I held on to this stuff and didn't sell it at the time, because I probably bought this stuff at the time for like $20 a gram. And now this kind of material is worth at least $100 a gram. But one of the things that I think is really interesting as the crystal industry is growing, and we're now seeing people getting a little bit more into meteorites, a little bit more into fossils. Neither of those arenas is my forte. I am not an expert at all in any which way, shape, or form. But again, I am an avid collector, so the things that I do know about, I will collect. If I don't know it, I have to do my research first and really figure it out. But this is a good introduction to Campo di Cielo meteorites, which is my personal favorite at this moment. So I see tourmaline and I want to know more about it. And I have, this is kind of the bulk of the better stuff that I have. You could see this, which is like kind of your mid-grade watermelon tourmalines. This is Brazilian stuff. Then I have this guy right here, which is probably one of my favorite pieces. You got a little watermelon tourmaline there. And then this is in gypsum, which is pretty crazy. And then I have this guy, this blue tourmaline cluster. This is also a really crazy blue tourmaline. This is also from Brazil. And then what's really cool that I have here are tourmalines from Maine. So a lot of people who are domestic miners know that Maine produces really great tourmaline. And this is a collection from Maine right here. in this pocket. This is all Brazilian stuff back here. Probably I acquired this material, I'm gonna say over 10 years ago. I'm gonna probably let go of some of this material. These are pink tourmaline clusters, also out of Brazil. Between like 2013 to like 2017, I spent a large amount of time in Brazil, in South America. And so being there all the time and getting to meet new people and spending time with new people, making my way into mines, I wound up having crazy access to material that probably I never would have had access to if I didn't make my way there and become friends with as many people as I did. And so this was one pocket that I wound up purchasing. This came out of apparently one whole pocket right here. You see most of it's with quartz. Again, I've kept it together because it was the pocket. A pocket is typically an opening in a matrix rock where crystals actually form inside of it. Most of the time it's volcanic, but sometimes it's not. It could be from erosion or agatized. One of those things is possible. But yeah, this was one pocket here, which again, I'm gonna have to figure out, do I wanna just keep the pocket together or let some of it go? You know, again, you have to chop down the collection to some degree. Okay, and then I have this piece right here, which is an etched quartz with green tourmaline, and this is from Paprock. Look at that guy. I would say that my tourmaline collection here, for someone who doesn't deal in tourmaline, is pretty high. Again, if you're a tourmaline dealer, you're probably not gonna be that impressed by this collection, although I don't think you'd scoff at it, especially when I start to show you what's coming up. So let's keep the Brazilian stuff together. That is a very nice rock. One pocket right here. I think the pocket together makes it a lot more valuable, so that's why I've kept it together. I'll probably keep it together. Here's some Colombian emerald. They're not gem quality per se, but as far as like mineral specimens go, these are really good ones. And here we go. This is probably one of the craziest items that I actually have in my collection, which are watermelon tourmalines. These are very pricey. Look at this guy right here. I would say that this is something you'd probably find in a museum, this caliber right here. Again, it might be kind of hard to see, but the caps here, which have iron inside of them, is really crazy. So the cap has iron and it is completely watermelon tourmaline. Pretty high quality collection here, you know, I'll put them together. Also, this came out of one pocket, so I wound up having to take the whole pocket. So this is the extent of that collection, which is probably one of the craziest things that I do have in my collection, is this set of watermelon tourmaline. This came out of Paprock. This is a watermelon cluster. This is from US. I bought it out of a private collection, but I do know that it is US. Can't really tell what state it came from. Maybe it was Maine. It's attached to smoky quartz, so maybe if somebody knows, you can comment in the comments. Let me know if you can take a guess where that's from, because I bought it out of a collection and the person's collection didn't have a listing on it, but it was a US collection, so I know it's US based. All right, there's a lot of tourmaline in here, but look, I just found this. This is worth taking a look at. Essentially, this is Black Phantom. Most people would say it's green, but this is like a Black Phantom tourmaline, bicolor tourmaline, which has dravite inside of it. These are all slabs that I did myself, but these were all cut and polished by me. You know, I'll probably make a video soon about cutting and polishing for beginners. Really looking at the whole collection of it here, it's a lot of tourmaline. I mean, I could probably set up a booth and just sell like tourmalines at a show myself, although I'm gonna pack this up and it's going back in my collection. Anyway, thanks for joining me if you watched, and I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.